TikTok up. Facebook is up. Welcome to Balanced Millennium Monday. I'm so excited. Okay. Trying to make sure everything is set up right. We're going to get started. We're going to get this thing going. Make sure my notes are together. Okay. All right, y'all. Welcome to Balanced Millennial Monday. Y'all know what time it is. And y'all already know we are talking about shadow work. So y'all know I'm on here to talk about shadow work. We're going to talk about the benefits of shadow work. We are going to talk about what shadow work is. And we are going to talk about some practical steps that you can take to begin your own shadow work journey. Um, and as y'all know, I'm doing a 31 Days with Shadow Work series right now. It is live right now on YouTube. So you can find days 1 through 7 on YouTube already. And then every day is posted at 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure y'all tune in and check out the Shadow Work series. I posted Canariel's video because she participated and she shared her video. So if you are going to participate in the series, tag me at Keandra Ware and make sure you use the hashtag 31 Days of Shadow Work. Now let's go ahead and get into it because your girl is tired and I am gonna eat and go to bed after this. I'll probably edit some videos too, but mainly eat and go to bed. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it, okay? Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Shannon. I see you. Thank you, Naya. If you know someone who wants to know more about shadow work or who is on a healing journey and they've been talking to you about a healing journey, please share this with them so that way they can join and get more information about what shadow work is and how it can be beneficial for them and how they can be part of my series because the series is going amazing, y'all. I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud of everybody that's been participating. So if you are let's say you're someone who you've been thinking about going to therapy, you've been thinking about getting a coach, you've been thinking about just doing some kind of healing journey within your life, especially as we in 2024 and start going into 2025. This would be a great way to start because sometimes you don't want to go to therapy because you don't know what to talk about with your therapist. I'm telling you, do this 31 days of shadow work and you will have a nice long list of things to unpack with your therapist. You can thank me later. All right, let's get into it, y'all. All right, so let's talk about shadow work, right? So, what is shadow work? I keep talking about shadow work. I keep telling y'all to do shadow work. I keep telling you shadow work is necessary for your healing, but what is it? So, shadow work is going to be the process of bringing light to the hidden or suppressed parts of ourselves. So, that's going to be the traits, the emotions, the experiences that we deny or avoid in our day to day life. These are going to be the things that show up in your dreams. These are going to be the things that you daydream about when you are overthinking and when you can't focus. Those are going to be the things that's going to be your shadow. Those are going to be your shadows. So, by understanding and integrating these parts, we can unlock deeper self awareness, emotional freedom, and personal growth. So, as y'all know, I'm all about helping you take your shadows or take the things that you hate about yourself, because usually the things that you hate about yourself are part of your shadow. So, I'm all about taking those things and incorporating them into your life so that you can learn how to use them as a superpower, so that you can learn how to use these shadows to make your light even brighter. Okay. So, what is the shadow though? So, we're talking about shadow work, but what is the shadow itself? So, the shadow is going to be that unconscious part of our personality that we often reject or ignore. So, these could be your fears, your insecurities, aspects of yourself that you consider negative because of societal, cultural, or personal conditioning. So, again, that's what we're talking about. Taking these shadow parts of your life and incorporating them into your light, incorporating them into your light, because once you learn how to incorporate your shadow into your light, you really become this powerhouse, y'all. You become this super powerhouse, and a lot of things that haven't made sense, your past relationship experiences, your past job experiences, a lot of things that haven't made sense to you are going to start making sense simply because you've done the work to bring that shadow to light or incorporate that shadow into your light. Because sometimes the things that you deem negative about yourself, yes, is part of your shadow, but it doesn't always have to be something that's turned into a positive. Sometimes it's more so learning about how to reduce how often that negative experience happens and how to use that negative experience as something for your benefit. So, y'all know my focus is overthinking because a lot of people have an issue with overthinking, especially us millennials. So, one of the things that I work on with my clients when it comes to using overthinking as their superpower is understanding that overthinking gives you really deep critical thinking skills. Overthinking allows you to think of the worst case scenarios. Overthinking allows you to plan properly because you have assessed every possible thing that could happen in this situation. That's what I mean when I say using your shadow for light. So, an example of a shadow, right? So, you may have been taught that showing vulnerability is a sign of weakness. This is definitely something that's really big in the Black community, especially with Black men. Of course, Black men, as little boys, are taught they can't cry. You cannot cry. You can't tell people how you feel. You can't express your emotions and things like that. That is what Black men and Black boys have been taught all of their life. So, your feelings becomes a shadow. How you genuinely feel about situations becomes part of your shadows. And eventually you suppress those feelings. Eventually those feelings that you've been told that you can't have all of your life, all of your childhood, you begin to suppress them. So over time, that's going to lead to emotional imbalances. Those emotional imbalances are your shadows. A lot of us are walking through our day to day life with emotional imbalances that we have not addressed. And that's the reason why we're snappy as fuck in the morning. That's the reason why you cussing them kids out every chance you get. That's the reason why you cussing that man out, that woman out every chance you get. That's the reason why you cussing everybody out in traffic every chance you get, is because you're walking around with emotional imbalances that you have never addressed before in your life. That you never addressed before in your life. So, how do these shadows even develop? I just mentioned it before when we're talking about Black men and Black boys growing up being told that they can't have these emotions, right? So, these shadows are formed in early childhood when we learn to behave in ways that are acceptable to our caregivers, to our teachers, and to society. So, a lot of your shadows come from the way that you were raised. A lot of your shadows come from the way that you were socialized to behave, whether in your house, at restaurants, at school. That is where these shadows come from. I saw a video not too long ago where they were talking about how Black kids are socialized to, like, okay, like, think about when you see kids out in public, right? Usually when you see a kid running around a store or crying, screaming, all those things, it's usually a white kid, right? It's because Black kids are socialized to grow up faster. So if your 4-year old, if your 5-year old is running around in a store, that is normal. Kids run around, especially little boys. Like, kids run around, kids get into things, kids do normal kid things. But a lot of us are socializing our kids to believe that they have to behave at the utmost standard everywhere they are. That's not realistic. And we are the only culture, well, I won't say the only culture, because really white people are the only ones that don't socialize their kids that way. Other cultures, Indian culture, like, other cultures do socialize their kids in a way. African, like, other cultures definitely socialize their kids in a way where we have to always be on our utmost behavior, even if that's not developmentally correct at that age. Like, my son is 5. When we're in the store and he's running around, I let his little ass run around. Okay, because he knows not to run into somebody, he knows not to be knocking stuff over, like, he knows those things. Because when he's running around, well, not even when he's running around, just in our day-to-day life, I'm always telling him, pay attention to the stuff that's around you, pay attention to your body, control your body. Like, those are the messages that I choose to teach my son, because I don't want him to feel like he can't be a 5-year-old kid. Like, he's gonna run around. Now, when I get tired of that shit, yes, stop that. Cut that shit out now. I'm tired of hearing your feet hit the ground. Cut that shit out. So yeah, when I get tired of hearing it, yeah. But for the most part, like, if he's running around the store, if he's looking at stuff, if he's touching stuff, like, he's 5, he's gonna do that. So a lot of our shadows come from the way that we were socialized. It comes from the way that we were told that we must behave around, for Black people, specifically around white people. You see those posts all the time when people when people are at black people are at like an all white or mainly white establishment and showing their ass, and people are always like, oh, why are you acting like that around white people? First off, they grown as fuck. They shouldn't be acting like that, period. It doesn't matter that there are white people around. It does not matter that there are white people around, but a lot of us are being socialized to behave in a certain way based on white standards and based on white culture. And that is where a lot of our shadows are coming from. That's where a lot of our suppression of our actual emotions and our actual feelings are coming from, is because of how we're being socialized and conditioned from childhood. So that's one of the big reasons why I recommend shadow work, is because a lot of us don't even realize that the things we do as an adult is because of how we were raised as a kid. A lot of us are not connecting the dots and understanding that the reason why you have anxiety every single time you have to order food by yourself is because your parents always did it for you. A lot of us are not understanding that the reason why we get so stressed anytime we have to end a relationship or anytime we have to quit a job is because it's because of the way that our parents probably controlled the environment for us. A lot of us did not grow up making our own decisions. A lot of us grew up in either very strict households or very loose households, and those kind of households built this for a big part built the same kind of kid. When you grow up in a very strict household and you don't get to make any of your decisions, you grow up not knowing how to. When you grow up in a very loose household and you grow up making every single decision for yourself, you still grow up not really knowing how to make decisions, because the balance in parenting is there's guidance and there's autonomy. Like as your kid gets older, your kid gains more autonomy. If you're 16 years old and you still have absolutely no autonomy in your life, then when you become 18, you're not going to magically gain it. It's not going to happen. You're not going to magically gain autonomy. You're not going to magically know how to make decisions for yourself just because you turned 18, just because you became an adult. So that's one of the big reasons why I recommend shadow work, is because it's going to take you to a space where you ask yourself the important questions. Where did this behavior come from? Where did it start? When did I first do this? Who taught me this? Who around me does this? Where did I see this from? A lot of us are modeling our parents. Who do I see snap every time they get mad? Who do I see cuss out the waitress every time the order's wrong? Who do I see cussing somebody out? It's funny even with me. I have road rage sometimes because I get anxiety when driving. Like I know that about myself. So I get anxiety when driving because I had a car totaled last year because someone turned at a four-way stop and wasn't supposed to. So I had a car totaled last year. I had a car totaled when I was pregnant because a woman was not paying attention on I-20 in traffic and ran into the back of my car and pushed my car into another car. So I have anxiety while driving. So I know that I'm gonna cuss while I'm driving. I am going to cuss while I'm driving. If somebody's driving like a dumbass, it's gonna come out my mouth. And so, because my son be in a car with me, there are times where he like, oh my God, they just driving slow, so slow, and they need to get out the way, because that's how I talk. That's where he gets that from. That's the behavior he's modeling. So even as a parent, I highly recommend shadow work if you're a parent, because it's gonna make it even more clear to you that your behavior, it's going to make it even more clear to you that your children are copying your behavior, and it's going to make you want to be more conscious of your behavior, because like for the example with my son in the car, that's not going to stop. I'm going to be that way, he's probably going to be that way too. I can't help it. I can't help it. He's gonna be that way. It is what it is. So there are gonna be times where you have to ask yourself, like, is this behavior something that I can accept my child modeling, or do I need to change my behavior so my child no longer models this? That's what shadow work is gonna help you with, because although shadow work is going to really put some things in the forefront about your relationship with your parents, it's going to also make you a better parent, because there are going to be things that you have to address within your own behavior when it comes to parenting. So let's talk about the benefits of shadow work. We're going to dive into 4 benefits of shadow work. All right, so the first benefit of shadow work is going to be emotional healing. Emotional healing, y'all. When I tell y'all it has been so hard, because I'm recording these videos in bulk. So some of y'all are doing the chat, some of y'all are doing the series day by day. Some of y'all are doing like 1 or 2 videos at a time. I'm recording them in bulk. And when I tell y'all, it's been a very deep emotional experience to record these videos in bulk. Okay. It's been a lot. Like there are times where I think the other day I had a day where I was like, nope, I can't record. I can't record. I can't edit. I can't do any of this, because it's like this journey is very emotional. Like it brings up the things that you probably haven't addressed ever in your life, or if you have addressed them, you've suppressed them really far, really deep within you. So it brings those things up. Like, even for me, it's brought up things that I haven't thought about in a while, or things that haven't impacted me in a while, so I haven't had to think about them. Um, so shadow work is definitely going to give you some emotional healing, because when you face your shadow, you get to heal old wounds that have been stored away. So this allows you to release repressed emotions like anger or sadness that have been blocking your growth. Shadow work is all about releasing those blockages, because those things that you're manifesting, though, that new job you want, that new partner you want, that new home you want, that new car you want, that new, that new that you want is being blocked because you have not done the emotional work to get it. It's being blocked. You have to do the emotional work in order for you to receive the things that you say that you want to receive. This is another reason why I really don't like when people make it seem like um oh, all you have to be is a good person to get the things that you want. That's not the case. That's good for karma. That's good. It's good for karma. Like if you make sure that you let a car out every time, you probably are gonna always be able to get out in traffic, because you always let someone out in traffic. So that's good for karma. But when it comes to manifestations and building a lifestyle that you truly are proud of and that truly makes you feel good every day that you wake up, that comes from emotional healing. That comes from saying, these are the things that I've done in the past. These are the experiences that I've had in the past, and I am no longer holding on to them. They are no longer dictating how I love people. They are no longer dictating what jobs I apply to. They are no longer dictating which homes I look for. If you have a lack mindset in any area of your life, that's going to transition into other areas of your life. Um, so number two, the first one's emotional healing. The second one is self-acceptance. So you got to stop denying the part of yourselves that you have to stop denying your shadow. You have to stop denying any traumatic experience that's happened to you. You have to stop denying the pain that you've caused other people, and the pain that other people have caused you. You have to stop denying that, and you have to start accepting that fully, right? Let me tell you a little bit of my business, which I've been telling a lot of my business. If you get on YouTube and listen to the 31 days of shadow work series, because we're up to day 7, I've been telling a lot of my business. Y'all know I don't tell my business online, okay? But let me tell you a little bit about my business, right? So self-acceptance. I remember when I was with my son's dad, right? We were on and off for 10 years. Like I met him when I was 16. We broke up when I was 25. So we were like finally, like a final breakup. Haven't been back together since I was 25. I'm 30 now. So for those almost 10 years, one of the biggest reasons why I kept going back to that relationship was because I did not have self-acceptance. So anytime he made me feel bad about some shit that I did when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, I internalized that, and I made myself believe that I had to overcompensate for something I did 5 years ago, something I did 6 years ago, something I did 4 years ago. Like I always felt like I had to overcompensate for those behaviors. Once I started accepting that yes, I did XYZ, and not in like, oh, but you did this. No, I did these things. I made this man feel this way. These are behaviors that I did. Once I had that self-acceptance, and once I took away the fear of shame for certain behaviors, I moved on. I moved on. I moved on. When I moved on. Cause like I said, we were on and off for 10 years, y'all. 10 years. And it took self-acceptance for me to finally be like, okay, I don't have to deal with these things. I don't have to accept these behaviors. I don't have to live this lifestyle with you because you're choosing to stay in the past. I don't have to keep having the same argument with you the rest of my life. I don't have to keep I don't have to keep feeling, I won't even say ashamed, because once I got rid of the shame aspect of things, it was more so like bitterness. So once I was, I don't have to keep being bitter with you because you're still bitter. So once I allowed self-acceptance into my life, I moved on from that relationship. So 10 years of going back and forth about the same thing, having the same argument, talking about the same thing over and over and over and over again, self-acceptance took me right on up out of there. And I've never gone back. It's been 5 years now and I've never gone back and never will. Mm-mm. We're not gonna have one of those stories where it's like, oh, 10 years down the line we try again. It'll never happen. Never. I wish I would. So a good reflection prompt for, oh, okay, so wait, before I say that. So what this led to for me was greater self-love and greater confidence, because when you are allowing yourself to sit in shame and sit in guilt and sit in embarrassment, it's taking away from your confidence. It's taking away from your self-love, and it's going to allow you to sit in spaces that don't deserve you. It's going to allow you to stay at jobs that underpay you. It's going to allow you to stay in relationships where they don't value you, they don't respect you, they probably don't even like you. It's going to allow you to stay in friendships where they are not benefiting your lifestyle and you're not benefiting theirs. Like, it's going to, when you are full of shame and guilt, you live a lifestyle that reflects that. Like, your lifestyle is going to reflect the fact that you are ashamed of who you are. Your lifestyle is going to reflect, hey, C Star, your lifestyle is going to reflect the fact that you are embarrassed by who you are. Your lifestyle is going to reflect the fact that you are discouraged. Your lifestyle is going to reflect that. So you got to ask yourself, what are you avoiding or resisting about yourself? What are you avoiding or resisting about yourself? So number 3 is improve relationships. So when we're aware of our shadow, when we're unaware of our shadow, it can unconsciously project onto other people. So that's of course going to lead to conflict and misunderstanding. So when you don't even know about this shadow, and this is one of the reasons why I'm really big on shadow work, because awareness is everything, y'all. You have to have awareness. So when you don't even know about this shadow, what ends up happening is that now you arguing with that man and he didn't even do nothing to you. He ain't even do nothing. Now you cutting off your friends. They ain't even do nothing. Didn't even do nothing to you. Didn't do nothing. Now you at work ain't talking to nobody, and they ain't do nothing to you. They didn't do nothing to you. You being triggered by someone's behavior is not on them. It is not on them. It is not on them, especially when you're being triggered and you don't even know what the trigger is. It is not on them. So, shadow work is going to help you take responsibility for your own emotions, for your own reactions, for your own bodily responses to experiences, to situations, to things people say to you, right? And that's going to help improve your relationship with other people. Y'all, when I tell you, when I became more aware of just how like sensitive I am, because I grew up real tough. Okay. I grew up very, very tough. I was not someone expressing emotions. I was not someone who was crying. I was not doing any of those things. So since I grew up tough, the only emotion I showed, no matter what emotion I felt, was anger. So it's like, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. You done pissed me off. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not fucking with you. You pissed me off. Don't talk to me. Really, what it was, damn, I'm disappointed in how you responded to me. I'm hurt by that behavior that you did. I'm nervous about having this, important conversation with you because I don't feel like you're gonna hear me. I don't feel respected based on that behavior that you did, based on that thing you said, based on whatever you did. I feel betrayed based on whatever you did behind my back. Those were the feelings I was actually having. But because I wasn't aware of those shadows, anger was the only thing that came out. So when you're not aware of your shadows, you're probably doing the same thing. The only thing you're probably showing to people is anger. And anger is a surface level emotion. If you need a emotion wheel, let me know and I can see you an emotion wheel a bit. Anger is a surface level emotion. There are so many feelings up under anger: disappointment, frustration, There are so many feelings up under anger, and you need to learn those words and you need to learn what that feels like in your body so you can communicate to other people like an adult, like a healthy, fully functioning adult. Because there people are only going to let you talk to them crazy so many times. People are only going to let you snap on them because you had a bad day so many times. The only people that are loved unconditionally are your children. Everybody else can cut your ass off. And if you fuck with your kids too bad and too long, they'll cut your ass off when they get older too. So it is up to you to dictate and to control how you respond to people, how your shadow shows up. And this is not to say that your shadow is never going to show up. It's about you being aware because you may snap on somebody, come back the next day, come back a few hours, you may be in the middle of snapping and stop and be like, "Wait a minute. I apologize. I'm tripping. I've had a long day. My boss was tripping on me today. Work was really hard." Like that is what I work with my clients on doing is one, having that awareness, and two, being able to vocalize what they are aware of, being able to understand what actual emotion they're feeling, why they're feeling that emotion, and why they had that triggered response in the first place. So that's number 3. Number 4 is going to be personal empowerment. So when you embrace your shadow, you get to reclaim your power. You get to reclaim your power. I talked about this earlier. When you are living in your shadow and when your shadow is dictating your behavior all the time, you're giving away your power. Fear now has all your power. Shame now has all your power. Guilt now has all your power. You have given it all away to your shadow. Thank you, Icy Sugar. You have given it all away to your shadow. This is why you have to start embracing your shadow. This is why I'm all about having the awareness of your shadow. I know me. I know I get overstimulated. If I've been on superwoman time for the day, by the end of the day, I'm overstimulated. Don't call my phone. Don't text my phone. Don't think we finna sit on the phone. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk because I'm overstimulated. So knowing that about myself, I can communicate with that. Can't talk to you tonight. Can't tell. I'll call you tomorrow. I'll text you tomorrow. I can't talk right now. I'm overstimulated. Because what used to happen for me in the past, before I was aware that I was getting overstimulated, I would get on the phone because I feel like I was like, if I'm dating a guy, I will get on the phone because I feel like I'm obligated to get on the phone with him because we're dating and communication and all that. And I would be bitchy because I'm irritated and I don't want to talk. Like, unless you finna buy me something or send me some food or, solve a problem for me, I don't want to talk. I'm overstimulated. I can't, I got nothing for you. So having that awareness has helped me have healthier relationships with men because now it's like, I'm not gonna talk to you if I'm bitchy. If I know I'm bitchy, I'm just not gonna talk to you because I know how I get. So you have to start knowing how you get and knowing how to manage how you get and communicate about how you get so that way you're not always apologizing for how you got. Because again, people are only going to listen to your apology so many times. People are only going to give a damn that you had a bad day so many times. People are only going to give a damn about your trauma so many times. It's just the reality. All right, so those are the 4 benefits of shadow work. Now let's talk about some practical steps to begin shadow work. Because if you have not started your shadow work journey, if you have not checked out the 31 Days of Shadow Work series yet, then this is where you can start self-reflection. So with the 31 Days of Shadow Work series, there is a new prompt every single day, and there's a new topic every single week. So this week we talked about I hate that I can't remember, y'all. Oh, let me see. I'm finna get it for y'all. Let me see. We talked about the talk. I have a different topic every single week. All right, so yes, what I thought. So this week's topic was identity, authenticity, and self-worth. And that topic ended today. So now we're moving into topic number 2 tomorrow, which is career ambition and self-sabotage. So if you are someone you're trying to show up more authentic in your life, you want to feel worthy within your body, then this first week of prompts is going to be perfect for you. As we move into week 2, we're going to be talking about career ambition and sabotage. So self-reflection, a 31 Days of Shadow Work series is going to help you self-reflect because it's going to help you identify triggers. It's going to help you identify the situations and people that make you feel intense emotions. I am a Scorpio stellium. I'm a Scorpio first house is I'm very Scorpio. I'm a Cancer sun. So I am a Cancer, but I'm definitely very Scorpio. So understanding what makes me feel intense is going to be different for me than for y'all, than for someone who doesn't have Scorpio placements. Scorpios love intensity. I love intensity. So for me, when I'm not feeling intensity, if I don't feel an intent in it, when I don't feel an intense feeling, that's not the best for me. So for you, it may be different. You may be a heavy earth placement and you may feel like intensity is overwhelming. I don't like having intense emotions. I like to feel grounded, feel calm, feel stable. That may be how you are. And so you want to start addressing the situations and people that make you feel those intense emotions and how you respond to them. Because those are going to be clues to hidden aspects of your shadow. The second one is journaling. So, with these prompts from the 31 days of shadow work, you should also be journaling with this. So, writing can help you explore your emotions and thoughts. You got to ask yourself, what emotions do I avoid and what traits in others bother me the most? So, you got to start journaling. Also, y'all know I'm a big fan of journaling too because journaling allows you to track your journey. I have a diary app on my phone. I can go back 2-3 years, maybe even 4. I can't remember, definitely 2 or 3 years, but I might even be able to go back 4 years and I can see what was going on in my life 4 years ago. That is so powerful, y'all, because there are times where you start ruminating about what's going wrong in your life right now, and you open that journal up, you open that diary up, and you go back 2 years, you go back a year, you go back 6 months, and you see how you've overcome so many of those things that you were in your journal talking about, and that is so empowering. It feels so good. Next up, y'all should already know, is meditation and mindfulness. So mindfulness is going to help you become aware of your thoughts and feelings without judgment. So it's going to make it easier to spot your shadow in action. So when I'm working with clients, I'm all about teaching them how to be aware of what's going on in real time and how to take action in real time. Because yes, it's good to self-reflect. Yes, it's good to think about, at the end of the day, think about what went down the entire day. It's even better if you can catch yourself in that moment and change your response in that moment. That it feels so good, y'all. It feels so good to respond differently to something that you've been responding the same way to your entire life. I'm telling you. So, mindfulness meditation, give yourself 2 minutes in the morning to just sit in silence and think. When you're driving in a car, when you're driving to and from work, just turn the radio off, let the windows down, and just listen. Just listen. Your thoughts are always going to come. They're always going to come, whether you are an abstract thinker, you see images, pictures, that whatever, or you someone who sees words, you see visuals, you see movies, you hear sound, like whatever, however thoughts process in your mind, give yourself that time to do that every day. Even if it's 1 to 2 minutes, that's fine, because mindfulness is a muscle. And so when you are practicing mindfulness, you are strengthening that muscle over time. And that is going to be the best thing for you, is to strengthen that muscle over time. So that way it becomes easier for you to hear your thoughts. It becomes easier for your intuition to kick in. You'll know when your intuition is kicking in. You'll know when you're being pushed or urged to do one thing over the other, because you've heard it enough. You've listened enough. You felt it enough. You've increased your awareness of it enough. All right, last one is seek support. So if you don't know where to start, I definitely advise starting with the 31 Days of Shadow Work series. So even if you're like, oh, I want to get a therapist, but I really don't know what I would talk about in therapy, do the 31 Days of Shadow Work series, because it's going to bring some of those shadows up front, and you'll be able to take that to therapy, and you'll be able to say, damn, like I really do have an issue with my self-worth. I really do. I really do feel like I'm not enough when I'm at work. I really do feel like I'm not enough in my relationship. I really do feel like I'm not enough as a parent. I really do have a problem with my identity. Like I really don't feel like I'm valued. I really don't feel like I show up as my authentic self in my day-to-day life. I really feel like code switching is making me drown. So these are the things that you are going to have to ask yourself and think about. Okay? That's what you're going to ask yourself and think about. And that's what you can take to therapy. So I definitely advise doing a 31 days of shadow work series, because that's going to support you on your shadow work journey. It's going to kickstart it if you've never done it before, and it's going to awaken some things up in you that you've had suppressed for a very long time. All right, so let's wrap it up. I'm doing good. I did good. I went longer than I wanted, but yeah, you know what? Good information. All right, so we are going to wrap it up. So, to summarize, shadow work is all about bringing those hidden parts of yourself into awareness for healing, growth, and empowerment. So, if this resonated with you and you want to explore shadow work more deeply, I do offer free 30-minute calls to help assess any blockers or offer actionable tips on how to start. So, if you want the link to the 30-minute call, just DM me the word balance and I can get that link sent over to you. So, in that call, it's just going to be a simple, like, kind of Q&A type of thing to see, like, where your focus is right now, where you want your focus to be, and possible blockers that you have. And then I'll give you some actionable steps that you can take to kind of push past those blockers, one, and to start taking action on your journey. Now, if you're like, nah, I don't even need that part. I need you to do it all for me. Then you can book a balanced pathway planning session. In the balanced pathway planning session, that is a hour session. And well, it's an hour and a half. So you get two sessions. It's going to be 1 hour session, then one 30-minute session. The first hour session is a Q&A again, but we're going to dive deeper. And I'm going to be asking you more questions. I'm going to create a plan for you. And then I'll send the plan to you, as well as a recording video and any resources that you need that will support you with the plan. And then three to 4 weeks after you receive the plan, you're going to book a 30-minute call. And on that call, we're going to review the plan. We're going to see, did this plan work? Do we need to make any tweaks? What changes have happened in your life since since you got this plan? So that's going to be the focus for that 30-minute session. Now that session is 197, and for the month of October, as we are doing this shadow work series, I am offering $100 off for that session. So if you want that session for $100 off, it'll make it $97. Then please DM me the words balance pathway, and I can get that link over to you. So I want to thank y'all again for joining me today. Make sure you check my videos out on YouTube. Remember, every single day at 7 p.m. I'm posting the days prompt for the 31 days of shadow work series. So tomorrow is going to be day 8. All day 1 through 7 are already posted on YouTube. You can type in 31 days of shadow work, Keandra Ware, whatever you want to do. And if you are posting your videos about the series, please make sure you tag me at Keandra Ware and use the hashtag 31 days of shadow work. So remember, the most profound healing starts from within, and you can do it because you do hard things and you've done hard things, and you can continue to do hard things until they become easy for you. So thank y'all for joining me, and I will see y'all again next week as we continue talking about shadow work.